On any financial journey, we need fuel. Savings is often the fuel that gets us where we want to go. When we think about our financial journey, we really want to understand where we are now, what goals we have, and how do we get from where we are to where we want to go. When we think about savings, we have to first look at what's important to you about having a plan for saving. You might have a specific goal, there might be a specific thing that you want to accomplish, or you might just feel more confident and comfortable when you have money saved. Whether you're just starting out or taking your savings to the next level, you can decide how do you want to go about increasing your savings. What adjustments would you have to make to meet your goals? And what can make it easy for you to save? Spending $1 less a day would be more than $3,000 in 10 years, just $1 a day. Spending $10 less every day would end up being more than $36,000 in 10 years. Often, when we think about the B word, the budget, we get a little upset about thinking that we'll have to restrict ourselves and not do the things that we want to do. The fact is, whether you've written it down or not, we all have a budget. Money comes in, money goes out, we all have a budget. Whether you know what your budget is another story. You get to decide how much control you have over your cash flow. Now, there are some expenses that we just can't get around. I like to call those living expenses. I know there are people who use wants versus needs. That's not really my style. I tend to think of it as living expenses, those things that I must spend to maintain my living, and then lifestyle expenses, the things that make my life better. Only you decide which things fall into which category. Say, for instance, if your goal was a rainy day fund, sometimes called an emergency fund. You have to first look at what is your current situation. What is your income? What are your expenses? What is your family situation, and who depends on you for income? What access might you have to credit or other available cash resources? How would you get your hands on money if something happened and you really needed an influx of cash? Some really easy things that you can do is you can start tracking what you're already doing with money. If you don't already have a budget, don't worry about that. Start again right where you are. Write down what's coming in and what's going out. Doesn't have to be in some big fancy journal or budget form. You can use a tablet or even an index card. There are apps that you can use, and Chase has Budget Builder that can help you identify your income, your expenses, and you'll know automatically what's left at the end to save. The main thing is really understand what is going on with your money. What are the daily choices that you're making, and are those choices getting you what you want? When you think about savings, start small. It's often helpful to just decide, I'm going to save the change that's in my pocket or in my purse at the end of every day and put it somewhere. And at the end of a month, 2 months, or maybe even a quarter, you take that and put it into a savings account. You might also start with a tax refund or some other cash windfall that you weren't expecting. Raises are another good way. Make a little extra money, save a little bit for yourself. When you think about how do you stay focused on your journey, you always want to check your actual spending against the budget that you've created. Remember, once you've identified that budget, what's coming in, what's going out, you want to make sure that what you do day to day is in alignment with what you thought it was going to be. When you think about tracking your expenses, you can generally track for a month, and that'll give you an idea of where things are going. But it really is best to track over 3 months so that you know what the dips might be from 1 month to the next. Sometimes we have periodic expenses that don't happen every month, and so we want to make sure that we capture all of the expenses that are both necessary, our living expenses, and the things that make our lives better, our lifestyle expenses. So when you think about your financial goal, how you behave with your money day after day after day either moves you closer to your goal or further away. So the bottom line here is the power of your saving goal is in the choices that you make every day.